Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyanmanjari Vidyapith for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of social science. Students, from the previous many lectures we have started with the revision work. Basically what we are focusing is on the marks weightage which has been issued by the Gujarat board for this year only. There has been change in the weightage of marks, and thus when weightage of marks gets shifted, because 30% syllabus has been cut, so what happens is that 30% syllabus which has been reduced, the marks weightage of those chapters get added to the remaining 14 chapters which are remaining. 7 chapters have been reduced, so the 14 chapters remaining, marks weightage will get added over there. So we need to organize our preparation in such a way that we get the maximum and we get advantage on benefit of the situation, right? So we have seen, we have studied chapter number 2 for example, then we learned uh, chapter number 9, chapter number 17. Now we are doing chapter number 13, right? This is to give you an example how to prepare yourself for the chapters. Different chapters, they have different weightage. We have already seen about that. Now, for as far as this chapter is concerned, we have already discussed this, that the marks weightage for this chapter is 5 marks, and that is fixed. 5 marks without option, that means fixed. Kam se kam, minimum 5 marks will be asked from this. Yes, not below 5. 5 will be asked, right? And general options are given. That means in between two questions, there will not be an or. Instead of 9 questions for 2 marks, there will be 12 questions, so that you have broader selection. That means from one chapter, 2 questions can be also there, right? So we get an added advantage over here. Yes, then you have marks weightage of 7 marks without option. That means if we prepare this chapter properly, then we can get 2 marks very easily. Now what is the bifurcation of marks for this chapter? 5 marks are fixed. Which are they? 2 objectives will be asked, 1 mark, right? So 2 marks over there. 1 question of 2 marks will be asked, that is 2 marks, and 1 map question is compulsory from this chapter, so 1 mark that. So total of 5 marks are there, right? This is compulsory. Now if you have the general options, if you see the general options, 12 questions are there, where 1 question is compulsory. There will be another question also of chapter number 13, so we will have 2 questions of 2 marks each, making a total of 4 marks. So if we are prepared thoroughly with this chapter for 2 marks, then objectives, they are in our hands. That means we can easily answer it. 4 marks will get over here and 1 mark per map. So we will get a total of 7 marks completely from this chapter if we prepare ourselves properly. Now, in the previous lecture for this chapter, we had already seen the agro-based industry, complete agro-based industries, which were questions of 2 marks, which were the points related with the generation of objectives that can be match the following, it can be fill in the blanks, it can be a one-liner, it can be true or false also, and it can be as usual the MCQs, right? So 5-6 types of objectives are there. We got to be prepared. Yes, if we are well prepared, then the objectives in whichever form we are easily able to answer it. We don't have to depend on the MCQs only, because MCQs only will have 4 options over there. Rest one line or one word answer, true or false, fill in the blanks, that we have to do on our own. That means no options are given over there, right? So if we have thoroughly prepared this chapter, then we can easily attempt the objectives also, right? Now all the agricultural based industry, that is agro based industry, that we looked at in the previous lecture. Now we are going to focus on the mineral based industries, and then we are going to do with the then we are going to attempt the map also, right? So maps are already given in your material. The industries wherein minerals are used as raw material, they are known as mineral based industry. For example, if it is a biscuit factory, then for a biscuit factory the wheat flour is necessary. So they the wheat flour, for wheat flour you need wheat, right? So when the farmers they produce wheat, then the flour mills owners they can buy wheat from there and prepare flour. The biscuit factories then will buy straight away the flour, because now that is not their work, right? They simply buy the flour which is available in the market, because wheat and flour both are available. Now they need flour to make biscuits. So basically biscuit manufacturing company, they are based on the agricultural product, that is wheat, plus they add lots of things, for example sugar, salt, lots of condiments, etc., right? So uh, to add flavors also. So basically whole of that industry is based on agriculture, right? Whereas a car manufacturing company, a scooter manufacturing company, or a TV set manufacturing company, basically all of these companies they are based on minerals, because they use minerals as raw material, so they are known as mineral based industries. Industries such as iron and steel, now which are these industries, right, which are dependent on the raw material, that is minerals. Industries such as iron and steel, they are dependent on iron ore. Yes, iron ore has to be processed and made into iron and steel. Then from iron and steel we can make n number of items, right, starting from a small pin to gigantic machines that we have learned. Aluminum industry, right, aluminum ore is then refined, we get aluminum. From aluminum uh, we can make alloys to make cars. Yes, lots of machine parts up to planes, etc., made of aluminum. Copper, chemical, fertilizers, cement, means of transport, that is the vehicles that we have, and electrical goods, all are mineral based industries. Now, iron, out of that, now we are going to learn iron and steel. Iron and steel is complete 3 marks question, right? Because it's quite long. Yes, and it can be asked in 4 marks also if you include all the material that is given in iron and steel, right? That's a 4 mark question, 3 mark question. But because the length of the question is so long that it cannot be included in 2 marks. Here we know that from this chapter 2 marks, 2 questions will be asked, right? So we have to basically focus on very small answers. So iron and steel as such cannot be asked for 2 mark question, right? Because it's quite a lengthy answer. Some of the smaller give reason, etc., right, that can be based on iron and steel, that can be asked. Iron is one of the most important, because in the modern world iron and steel becomes the basis or the backbone for the industrial development of a country, and to set up industries iron is required more. So it becomes a backbone for the overall development of the country. It also falls in the category of basic industry, that is a key industry. If we don't have iron and steel, we will first have to import iron and steel and then make at home lots of other things, right? So that means iron and steel is the basic industry or the key industry on which lots of other machines, construction and other such industries they develop. The process of my iron making is quite old in India. That means since quite a lot of time we have been making iron, right? In olden times, if we are talking about quite ancient time, then Damascus Damascus is a foreign country, right? So Damascus used to buy iron from India to make swords. Yes, now in Damascus also iron is available throughout the world. Yes, each and every country has small or great quantity of iron, right? Because whole of the earth, the base, that is the core, it's made up of mostly iron, right? So each and every country is going to have iron, but in lesser uh, more quantity, in less quality also, and more better quality also. So Damascus also must have got iron from somewhere else. Yes, if it didn't have, then, but the quality obtained over there was not good for making swords, so it used to import iron from India. Today, very important, this can be a objective. India ranks 5th in the world in iron and steel production. The first factory, this is also objective. Where was the first factory of iron and steel established in India? It got established, name of the place is Portonova in Tamil Nadu, but it was closed due to some reasons. 1874, now this is again objective. So it's not that 3 or 4 mark question we don't have to read them. We don't have to memorize them completely, all the point, and that also sequence wise. We don't have to remember them. Yes, memorize them 3 and 4 marks because it's not going to be asked. What is going to be asked? 2 marks only. But at the same time, those 3 marks and 4 mark questions also have to be prepared because lots of objectives are there. Very easy way to do that is we have already discussed, start underlining or highlighting those points which have objectives in them. So when we sit to revise, we will read that only from 3 and 4 marks question, long questions, right? We will read only that much. So that reduces our work. We'll be doing smart work. 1874, India's first blast furnace was established in Kult in West Bengal for making iron ore from making for making iron from iron ore. That is it, right? So please note over here, this is MCQ. Again, this is MCQ. 1907, Jamshedji Tata started Tata Iron and Steel Company, that is TISCO, at Jamshedpur on a large for a large production of iron and steel. This is now 1907, Jamshedji Tata, Tata Iron and Steel Company, TISCO. The full form of TISCO is Tata Iron and Steel Company. Where? At Jamshedpur, right? So MCQ. Then large scale factories. Now Dash and Dash are established. Also Dash is an iron and steel company in West Bengal. So this is also MCQ. Iron and steel were also established at Burnpur and Durgapur in West Bengal. So it can be asked in true or false also. Yes, in Durgapur there is an iron and steel factory, right? So it can be asked in one line also. In West Bengal, where are the places where iron and steel is produced? Yes, manufacturing industries or large-scale factories are there. So Burnpur is the first one, but in West Bengal, Durgapur is the second one. Bhadravati in Karnataka, right? Bhilai, Rourkela, Bokaro, and Visakhapatnam and Salem. Where Salem is in Tamil Nadu, Visakhapatnam is in Andhra. A mini steel plant has been found near Hazira. This is important. This is again MCQ, right? In Gujarat, where is the mini steel plant in Gujarat? It can be in MCQ, it can be in fill in the blanks, etc. So we see that 4 mark question, they are not to be opted out, right? They are to be read and special. You can underline the lines from where MCQ can be generated. Now, what are the raw materials used in order to produce iron and steel? Right? It's a one-line answer. So here it is. First thing is you need iron and iron ore, right? Without iron ore you cannot produce iron and steel. Other materials, minerals used are limestone and manganese. Without that also you cannot make iron from iron ore. So this is MCQ. This is a very important MCQ. Administration of all iron and steel factories except Tata, that is TISCO, is done by only one organization that is centrally set up, that is Steel Authority of India Limited. That's the organization which looks after the administration of all the iron and steel factories except Tata is left out, that is TISCO is left out. This is also again MCQ. India ranks 5th in the world in the production of iron and steel. Now we come to aluminum. Aluminum refining is quite an important industry in India. It is extracted from bauxite ore, right? So this is a very good MCQ also. The ore of aluminum is known as dash, that is bauxite. Yes, which of the following is the ore of aluminum? Yes, bauxite and galena and 3-4 names only, and that is MCQ. Aluminum. Now what are the properties of aluminum? You must have studied in science also. Here also it's available, right? One of them can be asked in MCQ, and it's a 2-mark question also. Aluminum is light in weight, it's very strong, malleable, that means it can be turned into either rods or sheets, smooth conductor of electricity, and it is rust proof of earth. These are the 5-6 points that makes the aluminum quite an important mineral because of these good qualities. Plus other minerals can also be added, so that from aluminum, when we mix it with other minerals, we have alloys. Now aluminum, because it is light in weight, the interior of the car or even the exterior of the car plus interior of the trains, etc., can be made out of aluminum because it is strong also, and of course cheap also. Aeroplanes, machines, because it's light in weight. Now the main drawback about aluminum is you need now what is the cost of aluminum? Out of that cost, 40 to 50% of that cost goes in electricity. So aluminum refineries, they should not be very far away from where bauxite is available or hydroelectricity is available. So bauxite and the ore and the hydroelectricity, both of them, so that uninterrupted supply of electricity is there, and for transportation of electricity much time is not taken, right? So aluminum refinery is set up at such places where the where bauxite, that is the ore of aluminum, and hydroelectricity is very easily available. Factories producing aluminum are established. Without these places, Orissa, West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Now we come to copper refining industry. Copper refining industries. Copper has many important properties such as, now what are the properties? This is again a 2-mark question, right? So please prepare it thoroughly, and when we prepare thoroughly, automatically the MCQs generated from these 2 marks question automatically gets filled in. So it's a very good conductor of electricity. In earlier days, instead of the aluminum wires that we use earlier days, even in electronic and electrical gadgets also, goods also, copper is still used, right? So it has a very good conductor of electricity. That is the one of the good points. Our properties can be mixed with other minerals. So the mineral is ready to get mixed with other minerals to give us alloys. So it is very useful for mankind. Copper is used in, so these are all the industries in which copper is used. Electrical industry in making refrigerator, air conditioner, automobiles, radiators, domestic utensils, all these places copper is used extensively. First, this is MCQ, right? First unit, copper refining unit in India was set up by ICC, that is Indian Copper Corporation, where Ghatshila in Jharkhand. Yes, this is a map question also. 1972, ICC was handed over to a new company, that is Hindustan Copper Limited, that is HCL. Okay, so all of this, whole of this paragraph or point is very important for MCQ also. Today, copper is produced by private sector also apart from HCL, but we are not able to meet the demand, so we have to import copper. Now we come to chemical industry. Again, this is 2-mark question. Chemical industry, very important industry for these industries produce 2 types of chemicals. One, namely organic chemical, where agricultural produce are used to make our chemical, and inorganic chemicals, that means from non-living things. Industries that produce organic chemicals are mainly petrochemical industry. Now we know the basis of petrochemical is organisms. Yes, organisms which got buried in the ground. Yes, that over a period of time, carboniferous period, yeah, the water content evaporated, and they turned into, because of the heat of the earth and pressure from the top, they got converted into viscous liquid that we know as petroleum, right? So when we take out petroleum, lots of byproducts we get. So this also, by the byproduct that we get from petroleum, right, that can be used in manufacturing chemical products. So industries that produce organic chemicals, they are mainly using petrochemical industry. A chemical substance obtained from petroleum is called petrochemical. Now a chemical substance which is obtained from petroleum, that's called petrochemical. So a petrochemical industry is an industry which produces products from using chemicals derived from petroleum, that we just understood. Petrochemicals or organic chemicals are used in what? Making artificial fibers, that is synthetic fibers. Artificial rubber, yes, which is used as lots of places. Plastic goods, plastic is a byproduct of the petroleum, so plastic goods are produced from that. Color, petroleum products में color use होता है, right? So chemicals and medicines also. These industries are generally set up near oil refineries because they are petro-based industries. So petrochemical centers. India has an important position in the world in the insecticide industry. Gujarat leads the country in making chemicals. So in chemical industry, Gujarat has a leading place. These are all the places. Yes, Ahmedabad, Vadodara. Again, this is a map question. Yes, mark one of the chemical industry in Gujarat. So Ahmedabad, Vadodara, Ankleshwar, Bharuch. These are the major centers of chemical. Now we come to chemical fertilizer. First chemical. This is MCQ. First chemical fertilizer industry of India was established in 1906. Where? Ranipat. Where? Tamil Nadu. The development of chemical industry started when? This is also MCQ. FCI, that is Fertilizer Corporation of India. And where is it? Sindri. Chemical industry highly concentrated. Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Kerala. In Gujarat, please remember this, chemical fertilizers located. This is MCQ also, this is map question also. Chemical fertilizers, they are located at Kallol, Kandla, Hazira, Bharuch, Vadodara, etc. So, you know 5 places, quite easy to mark them. Now we come to plastic industry. Again a 2-mark question. Practically countless applications that we make from plastic that we know, and because plastic is used extensively, so the constant rise in demand for raw material of plastic. Plastic is now we have the properties of plastic. What are they? Plastic is waterproof and can be fit in any mold, so you can literally make anything out of plastic. So because such a wide and excellent use of plastic is there, that is why this is MCQ. It is known as sunrise industry. Which industry is known as sunrise industry? Answer is plastic. Yes, or plastic industry is also known as dash industry. Then it is sunrise. It is used, where is it used? When packing chemicals, because chemicals, they react with the mineral. Now plastic is such a material, it doesn't allow any reaction with the chemicals, so it can be used in packing chemicals, then textiles, right, so that they don't get damp and they don't get wasted. Building construction, vehicle manufacture, lots of plastic is used in the interiors of the cars, etc. Electronics also, yes, plastic is used. Basically the खोखा होता है electronic का, या TV का है, कुछ भी है, right, so it's made out of plastic. Which are the important centers? Now this is MCQ also, plus this is map marking also. Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Bangalore, Vadodara, Vapi, Kanpur, Coimbatore and Chennai, they are the important centers for producing plastic. So this. Now we come to cement industry. Again 2-mark question. Cement is the base material. Now we know without cement you can't do any construction. So that becomes the base material for construction of what? Roads, dams, bridges, etc. This is MCQ. Second in the world after China in cement production. This is MCQ. This is also an MCQ. The next one. Out of the 100% cement produced in the world, India's contribution is 6%. Right, in that 100%. Yes. This is MCQ. What are the raw materials used for producing cement? They are limestone. So this is also an MCQ. What are the cements? What are the minerals that are used for producing cement? That is limestone, coal, gypsum, bauxite, clay, etc. They are the raw materials used. The raw materials of cement and hence cement are quite heavy in weight. So cement factories are located where raw material is easily available and in abundance. So usually they will be situated where, for example, gypsum, bauxite, clay, limestone. So in Gujarat also we see that it is situated at such a place where we find lots of limestone, gypsum also, clay also and bauxite also, right? So near Rajula there is a factory. So that is the complete belt where we have lots and lots of limestone, clay, coal, etc., gypsum. So it is situated over there because these raw minerals, they are very heavy. So lots of lots of cost goes in the transportation from the mines to the factory. So it should be it should be established where all these minerals are easily available and that also in quite good quantity. Gujarat cement industry, that is developed. Now we come to transport equipment industry. That is, first thing is railway. Now railway is quite a big answer for 4 marks, 3 marks, but then It can be broken up into small questions, so it is important for 2 marks, plus it is also important for objectives, plus it is also very important for map marking also, because one question certainly comes from here, right? So Indian Railways itself manufactures all the vehicles and equipment necessary to run the railway. That means railway engines, coaches, and all the rest of the material is prepared by the railway itself. So railway engines, passenger coach, goods coaches, etc., all of those things, the government. Now railway is completely public sector, right? Because it is under the total control of the government. So that means railway engines, उसकी जो factories होगी, that will be also under the government. Same way passenger coaches, it can be private also, it can be government also, but government makes or manufactures more than the private, and when it feels a shortage, then it will give orders to the private companies, right? So they can supply whatever is remaining. So private country coaches, private companies producing passenger coaches, goods coaches, they are less, but then they help in fulfilling the demand. There are also private companies who produce these things for the railway. Now, Indian Railway, this is a very short 2-mark question, right? What are the different types of railway engines, right? They are steam engine, diesel engine, electric engine. The steam engine has become obsolete because nowadays we use diesel and electric. Yes, so steam engine because of the coal. It's a the coal engines have been stopped. That is the meaning of absolute. Yeah, so we don't use it because coal has become costly, and instead of that, diesel and electricity, it can be used more and available in plenty. So steam engines, they have become absolute. Only heritage trains, yes, toy trains that run from the bottom of the mountain of Himalayas, say Darjeeling or for Shimla, these heritage for tourism purpose, only these small trains are run. Diesel and electric engines, they are produced at. Now whole of this is MCQ also. Mihejemen Chitranjan locomotive works, that is West Bengal. Diesel locomotive works Varanasi, and Tata locomotive works at Jamshedpur. Out of that, Tata is private, whereas Chitranjan and Varanasi, both these locomotives manufacturing companies, they are belonging to the government, under the control of the government. Passenger coaches manufactured at, these are the, again this is not only MCQ but is a very important map question also, right? Perambur, Bengaluru, Kapurthala and Kolkata, these are the 4 places where passenger coaches are made. Now we come to road vehicles. Now before independence, India used to import parts and assemble cars. That has made much advancement in this industry. Our factory manufacturers now are producing truck, bus, cars, rickshaws, scooter, cycle, etc. So you are right. Road vehicles manufactured mostly in private sectors. India ranks, this is MCQ, 5th in the world in the production of commercial vehicles. We have developed much that today we export vehicles and also several parts to various countries. So producing tractors, cycles at a very large scale, and also exports cars, tractors, cycles to lots of countries. This is a 2-mark question. Shipbuilding and aviation industry packed together. Shipbuilding for producing ships, aviation industry for producing transport vehicles of air, right? So shipbuilding quite ancient, because earlier we used to make from wood. Nowadays we make for iron, make the ships out of iron. Nowadays we are producing modern ships also. Public sector, that means under the control of the government. Which are those industries? Where are they? Visakhapatnam, Kolkata, Kochi, Mumbai and Marmagova, they are producing modern ships. Yes, and that is completely under the control of the government. Out of that, Kochi and Visakhapatnam, they built very large ships also. Now there are few important private ports also that help in trade and commerce with the other countries through the ships. India has also made quite good progress in aviation industry. Now we come to aviation. India manufactures both helicopters and small aircraft, but passenger aircraft we don't make. Yes, we don't start yet. Aircraft building units are established. These is also a map question and plus MCQ objectives also. Bengaluru, Koraput, Nasik, Hyderabad and Lucknow. We haven't started making passenger vehicles, aircraft. Now we come to electronic industry. Yes. Now, manufacturing of radio and telephone in 1905. This is MCQ, right? Establishment of industries in 1905. Now, which was the first? This is government control. Bharat Electronics Limited was established in 1956 in Bengaluru. This is objective also plus. It can be map question also. Objective of this unit is to produce equipment for Akashvani, that is radio, and weather department, that is meteorology department. Today, BAIL produces various electronic equipment in collaboration with Indian Science Space Research Organization, that is ISRO. That means it is helpful in producing the satellites, right? So, this is quite important. The electricity has upgraded the lives of the people by providing them the means of communication and entertainment. It has also contributed to national income also. Bangalore again. This is this is objective. Yes, Silicon Valley of India. Where is Silicon Valley of India? That is Bangalore. Where is software at? This is important as far as 2-mark question is asked, because you got to include this point. It's very important. Various software parks, science park, technology park are established for the development of the industry, and the future of this industry is very good. Now we come to some logical questions. Yes, very logical questions that we have developed so much in the industries, and industries basically they are the that's the part that produces lots of goods material, but at the same time it pollutes the atmosphere like anything, whether it is air pollution, water pollution, land pollution or noise pollution. It creates all of the four of them, right? So industries pollute the environment and degrade them, so there is degrade the environment, so there is no doubt industries, they make the backbone of the country. They are very important for the economic development of the country, but at the same time downside of the industry is they pollute the atmosphere at a tremendous level, and that has ruined the environment. Reduction in environmental condition arise due to man-induced reason, that is called environmental degradation. This is the definition for environmental degradation. Industries, we know, pollute four types of pollutions. Yes, air pollution, water pollution, land pollution and noise pollution. Now, what are the effects of industrial pollution, right? Industries pollute air and water to a great extent. That is the same air that we breathe, that is the same water which we drink and use in making food. So basically that goes inside us. Whatever the pollutants that are released by the industry, that reaches in our body and we fall sick and creates lots of diseases. Air has become polluted to harmful gases like mainly carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide is added in the air, which is released by the industries. Many factories, they break laws. Yes, very strict laws are there that industries, they have to filter the smoke before they release it, and they have to filter the water also before releasing it, right? But they don't maintain that, and that is why many factories, they break the law and release their industrial waste in nearby rivers, lakes, streams, and this also heavily pollutes the water. So the sound of the machines, they are the generators of the noise pollution. Noise pollution is one of the reasons for deafness in human. It also increases lots of other difficulties also, for example mental stress, etc., that is increased by the noise pollution also. Old and worn out machine in the industry, they consume more electricity, and means of transit also they cause lots of noise pollution. Yes, fatigue level, that is stress level. Steps to curb environmental degradation. Now what are the steps that we should take or the government has taken for the curbing, that is the restricting or decreasing the environmental degradation? Industries, we know they are the pillars of the national economy, and they should be developed to solve lots of problems of the country. At the same time, these industries should be developed in such a way that it does not cause much harm to the environment, or it should be environment friendly. The amount of pollution and quality of pollution can be reduced by proper planning, methods and equipment. Yes, as we discussed now also, that proper filtration should be while discharging the smoke in the air. A proper filtration if is there, then minimum pollutants will be added in the air. Same way water, the industrially polluted water should first be treated. So treatment plants should be established in the factories which release quite huge amount of polluted water. So the pollutants they remain within control, and only very less pollutants are released in the water. Pollution can be reduced by using correct raw material and fuel also. That increases the efficiency of producing that, and plus we have an added advantage that they decrease the pollution, the degradation of the atmosphere. The air pollution can be controlled by using, this is important, this is MCQ also. How can air pollution be decreased? By using filter, scrubber, precipitators, etc. in the factories that will absorb the pollutants and will not allow them to be released in air, water, whatever. Water pollution can be prevented by releasing industrial effluents only after properly treating them. That is what we said. Industrial water can be purified after treatment. We can use that same water because it has very less pollutants now. It has been cleaned, right? So we'll save water also over here, and we will not add pollution to the water. Now we come to very important thing, that is map marking, right? Now, as we can see, cotton textile industry. We'll start from over here. This is you have the material with you, so it will be very easy. We'll be first taking the cotton textile industry, mark one of the cotton textile industry in the south. Then there will be 3-4 places. One is Coimbatore, one is Madurai, and the other one is Puducherry, right? This is the place where it is Puducherry, or Chennai also is one. Next, in Maharashtra we have Pune, Mumbai, Aurangabad, and Warda. We come to Ahmedabad. 3-4 important places are there: Surat, Vadodara, Ahmedabad, Rajkot, and Porbandar. We come to MP. We have Ujjain, Devas, Indore, Mirzapur over here. Then we to we come to UP. Then Agra, Moradabad. These are the two places for textile UP. Then we come to West Bengal. If we come to West Bengal, then Hooghly, Howrah, and Murshidabad. These are the 3 places for cotton textile industry. Now we come to woolen textile industry. Woolen textile industry in south only one, that is Bengaluru. Then we have in the west Mumbai. Then mostly you will find Mumbai, and in Gujarat you have Ahmedabad. Mostly you will find in the northern part. If we start from the top, Srinagar is there. Then we have Amritsar, Ludhiana, Panipat, Gurgaon. All these areas in the all these cities in the north, which are woolen textile industry. If we come to UP, then it is Agra and Shahjahanpur, right? Varanasi over here in UP at the end. Then we don't have any woolen textile industry. Next we come to silk textile industry. It will be based over here with a square cube, that is red color. Yes, we have in Murshidabad, we have in Bakura. Then in south we have Mysore, Bengaluru, and Kolar, and Belgaum, that is in Karnataka. On the top we will have Varanasi, yes, and one in Baramulla and Anantnag in Jammu and Kashmir. Now when we are asked to mark, say suppose silk textile, now we have lots of, suppose because there are 4 questions in map, right? So suppose wheat is asked, then we have marked Punjab, whole of the area is marked, right? Then we are asked to mark the longest train route in India, that will start from Dibrugarh and end in Kanyakumari. So we are basically using this track, right? Now one of the sugar industry in MP, so we will be marking this center, right? Now that means 1, 2, and 3 areas in the map are used. Now you are asked to mark silk textile industry. Now if you mark it over somewhere over here, the questions that you have marked will be overlapping each other, because train route was also here, and then you try to mark it over here in Bengaluru. That is the exactly route that is followed by the train route from Dibrugad to Kanyakumari, right? So wherever you see that overlapping is being done, yes, you choose another place. For example, silk textile is in Bengaluru. At the same time, the available space with you is already covered up, but the northernmost part of India is not covered up. We have silk textile industry over there also. So 4 clear markings will be there on the map, right? And your map will not look dirty. So we have lots of option. We have to memorize the with help of approximation. We have to mark those places separately. So are all the 4 markings on the map, they are quite separate. Otherwise what happens is, suppose cotton textile industry. Now you have marked Agra. Then wheat producing area, here you choose the western UP, right? So once you have marked the wheat, and then you will be having Agra also over there with that. So there will be 2 questions which are overlapping in this particular area. Then you are asked about the quadrilateral. Now that starts from Delhi to Howrah, Kolkata, right? So now a third one is also Goa. So your questions are overlapping, and it becomes quite difficult for the examiner to exactly find that on the map, because you are going to use only pencil. Now 3 of the questions are overlapping over here, right? For reproducing in UP, you have marked over there with cross lines, right? Vertical slanting lines. Then you make a circle over there and darken that circle, and then you have written Agra over there. And here at the in the legend you have made cotton textile industry. Now quadrilateral, that is also passing over here. So please do not make your map dirty, right? Try to find another place, right? Or you organize your map beforehand so that things don't overlap each other, right? Now iron and steel industry, yes, you got to practice all this on the map so that you know approximately where will you place the mark the place, right? So if we start from West Bengal, then Durgapur and Burnpur, these are the 2 factories, iron and steel, producing iron and steel in West Bengal. Then we come to Jharkhand. Jharkhand में 2 है, एक बोकारो स्टील प्लांट है एंड जमशेदपुर. बोकारो बिहार झारखंड बॉर्डर में है, बट जमशेदपुर इज कंप्लीटली इन झारखंड. देन रूरकेला इन Orissa, Bhilai steel plant in Chhattisgarh. Yes, Vishakhapatnam steel plant in Vishakhapatnam, which is Andhra, not Telangana. Right? Telangana is on the top, Andhra is at the coast. Then in Tamil Nadu, we have Salem. Then Bhadravati and the Jindal Vijayanagar steel plant, which is not in the book, but it's given additional one is given over here. Bhadravati is in Karnataka. No iron and steel plant in Maharashtra, no iron and steel plant in complete west and northwest. We have a mini steel plant only in Gujarat, that is Hazira. So where your iron and steel marking is there, please use the eastern side, because whole of the west, north and the center complete is absent except Hazira in Gujarat. Right? We have all the iron industry, iron ore producing and iron industry in the eastern side, bearing 2 places in the south, 2-3 places, that is Bhadravati, Salem and JSLV plant over here, right? So this explains iron and steel. Now we have lots of iron and steel. If you see the index in your material provided to you, iron and steel we have done, cotton, textile, wool, jute. Now jute, we know 80% of the jute is produced in West Bengal. So you have to keep that in mind, that if jute marking is to be done, yes, then I will mark West Bengal, yes, and properly Howrah, etc., where most of the Hooghly, etc., where most of the jute mills are there, right? So jute textile over here. Silk textile we have already seen. Now we come to sugar, paper, chemical, fertilizer, copper smelting. So first we will go for copper smelting. If you see in the entire map, there is only one place, that is Ghatshila, that we discussed while we were just discussing the copper industry, right? So you remember Ghatshila, where it is, right? Where is it? It is in Jharkhand, right? Approximate in that U shape which is ending in West Bengal, right? So that approximate mark is, you should not draw it in, mark it in West Bengal, or you should not mark it in Orissa, not somewhere over here in the middle, only where one place, that is that small UV shape that is going into West Bengal. Now that is done, copper is done. Now sugar, we know the major sugar producing states, they are UP and MP, Maharashtra, where Maharashtra is producing more sugar and UP is producing more sugarcane, right? But both are producing sugar. So we have Gorakhpur over here and Bareilly over here in UP, and Maharashtra, lots of places are there, right? So you practice 2 or 3 of them so that you know approximately where they are to be marked. Yes. Then Aurangabad hai, Solapur, Satara, Kolhapur, these are the important places producing sugar and sugarcane both. Now we come to paper. Now paper, we should understand one thing, that paper is produced mainly in the eastern, in the southern part, because they have lots of trees over there. We don't have that many trees over here. Yes, Rajasthan is a desert. MP, you know, the deciduous forest, they are very sparsely populated trees, right? So where will you find lots and lots of trees? In the rainforest in south. So please mark this, keep it in mind that if I am asked paper industry, then I will go for the south of India. So when you are doing other marking, see that you keep the south clean, yes, so that you can mark paper over there. Which are they? Rajamundry, Bhadravati, again we know where to mark Bhadravati, Dandeli and Metro. These are the 4-5 places I'll keep in mind when I am marking map, especially for paper. Now for chemical, no, we know that Gujarat leads in chemicals, right? So we have lots and lots of chemical industry over here. We know the famous one, Vadodara hai, Ankleshwar hai, Bharuch hai, Ahmedabad hai. These 4 places, you just remember that when chemical comes, I'll mark over here. Then I will not, that means I'll keep rest of the map quite neat and clean, because I know where I have to mark it. Yes, chemical fertilizer, you know, Vadodara, Bharuch, they're the same places, right? So railway engine, this is very, very important. Yes. Now you don't make a railway engine over here as it is shown. This is because lots of things are shown over here, right? So that is why a railway engine is shown in your map. Yes, the map that is provided with the material, right? You don't have to draw a railway, you put a star mark over there instead. Yes, or you make a box and color it, either shade it a small one, right? So you make some other marking. It can be a dollar, it can be a star mark, it can be an asterisk also, right? So because rest of the markings are also having, there are only 4 markings. So prepare in mind, if I am asked the region, I will make this design. If I am asked to mark a place, then I will be using this symbol, right? So 3 symbols also, because there will be one big region which you have to mark, right? So there shaded part or horizontal or vertical lines, you'll doing some type of filling over there, right? Then you have to make 3 symbols. So better make that first, so that whenever that comes, you'd make a dollar mark on an asterisk mark. Yes, that way. So railway engine, where is railway engine? In Varanasi, in Jamshedpur, that is the Tatawala, right? And okay, 2 places are marked over here. One is Varanasi, one is Jamshedpur. Then we come to railway coach. One is in Kapurthala, that is Punjab, right? So see the marking. It is somewhere in the center of Punjab, that is Kapurthala. Any other one? Kolkata is there, right? So 2 very easy to know places, and we already know them. One is Perumbur and another is Bengaluru. So 2 in south, 1 in east and 1 in north, right? So when we are doing the markings, right, remember there are 4 questions and my map should look neat and clean. I have 4 different markings done separately, so that the examiner is not confused. I am not overlapping the markings. Then we come to shipbuilding. Now shipbuilding will not be in the center, it has to be on the coast, right? So if we start from the bottom, main important one are Kochi, Marmagua. Marmagua is where we have Goa in between, wedged in between Karnataka and Maharashtra, Marma. Then Mumbai we know where to mark. Then over here we have Kolkata. Yes, on the eastern side we have one, that is Visakhapatnam, and on the upper side Kolkata. So two on the eastern side, 1, 2 and 3 on the western side, right? Then fighter planes. We don't produce fighter planes. Yes, indigenous helicopters, fighter planes, they are made. Parts of them are made. First one to remember in the north is Lucknow. Then we come directly to south. Now, Hyderabad is a very important industry, aviation industry, many of it. Yes, that's in Hyderabad. Yes, then very important is Bengaluru, because Bengaluru electric and electronic both ka hub hai, right? So it's very easy to make over here. So 1, 2 and 3 places, if you see, it's in a line, right? UP, almost center where the Lucknow is. Hyderabad we know where to mark, and Bengaluru we know where to mark. It's towards Tamil Nadu, but a little bit away from Tamil Nadu, right? So Bengaluru, just mark this. The other one is Nasik over here. So with this, we end today's lecture. Thank you, students.